cone. Yeah. Hey, y'all, we back. Somebody say solutions. Somebody say solutions. Well, I'm sitting here with my homies. We got the new panel here. I was told I move around too much, so I'm going to try to sit down. It's very hard for me to do. I want y'all to understand, it's very difficult for me to sit still. All right, I tried. I'm just joking. But seriously. So, let's talk about solutions. I'm going to stay over here. Somebody say solutions. We pointed out some major problems, man. We talked about people misjudging us. We talked about discrimination. We talked about people not understanding our sexual orientation. We talked about people thinking that we're doing criminal activity. We talked about poverty. Now let's talk about some solutions. I think that a lot of the answers, let me just keep it 100 with y'all. I honestly believe that teenagers are over-talked to and under-challenged. I think that y'all have the answers. And a lot of times adults just try to stand up and tell you the answers. But I think y'all really have the answers. All right? Now, I know what Kanye told Sway, but I think you have the answers. So we're going to pick up the microphone, get my man Frank to pick it up. And so we named some issues, man. We talked about the issues of misjudging people, man. We talked about peer pressure. Right. We talked about suicide. We talked about depression. Mm-hmm. We talked about all this stuff. Can you give us a possible solution to help us with the issue of this peer pressure thing, man?
Peer pressure? Well, I would say just add more people to the Boys and Girls Club. You know, because if you can get people away from bad influences, you can change the person. So if you guys can take a moment and invite people to join the Boys and Girls Club, because, you know, thank you. You know, it truly is a place where people can learn to be responsible adults.
Yeah. Is it, from your experience, is the Boys and Girls Club a safe environment where you can be yourself?
Yeah, when I go to the Boys and Girls Club, you know, I go there and you know, I play basketball with little kids. And, you know, it teaches me how to, you know, talk to a little kid who, you know, doesn't know much about problems.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned.
So you kind of get to be a mentor, kind of give back, kind of pour into people younger than you?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like an older brother to many of the Boys and Girls Club
That's
members.
What's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I commend you for that. Let's give him a hand for that. Can you pass the mic to Ayana, right? Ayana.
Yes.
I'm gonna get it before the day over. Ayana.
Yes.
Let's keep talking about peer pressure. Now, some of us may not like that term peer pressure, but the reality is we all feel it, right? Mm-hmm. At some point or another, you felt this unspoken, kind of unseen pressure to kind of fit in or do something or say something. So what do you think is a solution for any of our homies out here, or even on here on the panel that may be struggling with that whole peer pressure thing? Like, man, I don't know if I should be doing this. What do you think is a possible solution for that?
A possible solution for that could be getting to know yourself and getting to understand yourself, because once you know who you are and you own who you are, you won't let other people interfere with your morals and your right and wrongs.
That's good. Let's give her a hand for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's good. Let's pass that. You can pass it on down here. Do you have anything else that you want to add about a solution for peer pressure?
A solution would be to just say no. Like, if you're not comfortable with doing something, then you should just say no. As a human, we're all entitled to our rights, and if you don't want to do anything, then say no.
Yeah. Can we practice that? Can everybody say no? No. Oh, did you believe them?
No.
Can you say no?
No.
On three, let's say it real loud. 1, 2, 3. No. Cool. Does anybody watch professional wrestling? There's a wrestler like Daniel Bryan. He's like, yes. Then they'll be like, no, if he's a bad guy, no. Anyway, I just had a moment. All right, you can pass the mic. Let's talk about peer pressure. What's a possible solution that you think would help people who are struggling with peer pressure? What could you say to someone who needs some encouragement in that area?
Definitely standing for what you believe in and understanding your morals for as far as who you are. So I would say definitely understand that when you say no, mean no.
Oh, that's good. Let's give her a hand for that. Let's give her a hand for that. I'm going to ask my man Timo. Timo, can you come in for a second? Y'all give it up for Timo. Give it up for Timo, y'all. Now, Timo is not only incredibly strong. I'm just messing with him. I'm putting him on the spot, but my man Timo, he's a recent Harvard graduate. He graduated from Harvard University. Y'all give it up for that. And he lives here in Northeast. Well, he lives in Northeast. We're in Southeast. He lives in the city here. He lives in Northeast. And a part of his life is dedicated to helping young people understand their purpose. Timo, I'm putting you on the spot, but real quick, man, could you talk to us about how you overcame some peer pressure to become a Harvard graduate and give back to your community and all the things you're doing?
Yeah, no doubt. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
I think for me, I was always the type of person to be just connected to all these different groups. So, like, I came up in the church, but, like, I was still connected to the boys on the block. And, like, I played on the football team, but I was in honors classes. And, like, I was in Boy Scouts doing stuff like that, community service and things of that nature. But, like, you know, it's just all these different circles. But I think, like, whatever I did, I always tried to think further along. And so, regardless of what group I was in, one, I tried to think about my place in it and, like, whatever were they doing, was it going to be sustainable to me being successful long term? And that kept me from just getting into a lot of trouble. Now, granted, a lot of the people I was hanging out with, I could have still got in trouble just because sometimes it's not about what you do, but who you with. And sometimes that's enough to get you in trouble. And same thing on the other end. You hanging around with people who are constantly doing positive things and thinking positively, it's going to elevate you, elevate your thinking about yourself, elevate your thinking about your environment, all of that. So I think for me, one thing was just kind of always trying to think, are the things going on around me, the decisions being made, the conversations being had, just the way of thinking, the mentality. Is that going to be conducive, constructive? Is going to be helpful to me getting to where I want to be? Even if I don't even know specifically what my purpose is, whether that was middle school or, you know, even sometime in high school where I didn't know specifically what I was supposed to be doing, there's a trajectory of people's path, you know what I'm saying, like their decisions and everything and how that's pointing them. And so I just always kind of thought like that. And I think just a lot of God's grace over my life, his favor, and keeping me from being in situations that really could have honestly been way worse. So that's part of it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now give it up for Timo. Oh, what'd you say? What's your degree in?
Yeah, so I graduated pretty much like a double major, so African American Studies and Sociology. And kind of, actually I did almost an informal concentration within that on structural and cultural sources of urban inequality, poverty, living in the hood, things like that, and then in hip hop too. And so a lot of people don't know, like, you take care of your business now, you can study the things that you like in college and get paid for it. I've worked with Ninth Wonder, I've worked with Newz, I've worked with J. Cole, and these was all just extracurriculars. And then for my actual academic work, my thesis was on hip-hop. And, like, that's at Harvard. And now I can almost do any job I want to with degrees in sociology and African-American studies, but, like, I studied hip-hop in school, you know. Of course, I had a foundation in all the other disciplines, but, you know, it speaks to, like, taking care of your business now, doing the things you may not want to do now so that you can do all sorts of things later in the future, you know.
That's good stuff.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the question.
Y'all give it up one more time for Timo, y'all. Come on. This is a Harvard graduate who studied hip-hop at Harvard. When I first met Timo, we met in Memphis, and it was like, yo, we live in the same city? That's what's up, dog. And he told me about his work with J. Cole and with Newz, and taking positivity with hip-hop into our community is what he's about, amongst other things he's doing. I brought Timo up because he's a prime example of how you cannot let your environment problems stop you from becoming a solution. Somebody say, I can't let problems. You did well, panels. A lot of y'all did, but some of y'all over here were kind of faking on me. I need everybody to say nice and loud, I can't let problems, stop me from being a solution. Do you know that you are a solution to somebody's problem? Turn to the person sitting next to you and say, hey, I'm a solution, Mo. Some of y'all like, what's a Mo? Are you Maurice? Who's Mo? I don't. Mo, Maurice. Turn to the next person next to you and say, hey, I'm a solution, cuz. Are we cousins? I don't get it. I don't. You are a solution to somebody's problem. Let's talk about some solutions. We're going back to the panel because the panel is on fire. We talked about dealing with peer pressure. It's lit. It is lit. I'm feeling hot. That's how lit it is up here. You'll get it tomorrow. Okay, so now we're going to talk about another solution. We talked about a solution for peer pressure. Let's talk about a solution with racial discrimination. Let's think on that one. Think, panel, think. Race is a big issue in our country, right? Some of the hashtags that we've been talking about were started because of some of the unarmed killings of black men. Anybody ever heard of Eric Garner? Anybody ever heard of Tamir Rice? Anybody ever heard of Michael Brown? And so race has become this refocus, and there's so much tension in our country around race. It's always been tension around our country and race, but now with the recent camera capturing of the images of young black men being killed unarmed by police, race is a boiling point issue. And so we want to talk about it. Some of the teens from our first session talked about the race issue and being discriminated against. Let's go to the panel first. Who's got the mic? My man.
I got you.
Let's talk about it. What's a possible solution for us as teenagers, middle school and high school students, that we can apply on this issue of racial discrimination?
Okay. So if you can accept another person as a human being, it is so much easier to see people. You know?
That's good.
But you can't say, I don't see color. You know, my best friend's black. I don't see color.
Yeah.
No, you can't say that. Like, you gotta see another person for what they are, and then you can judge them.
Yeah. I like that. That sounds like Martin Luther King since it's MLK Day. What did King say? He wanted people not to judge them by the color of their skin, but by the content of their... Some of y'all don't know Dr. King? I bet if I was quoting Fetty Wap, you could finish that, couldn't you? One eye. All right. I'm going to quote Dr. King again. Okay. If it was Drizzy, you could finish the line, but we need to be able to finish one of Dr. King's lines, okay? So, we shouldn't be judged by the color of our, but by the content of our
character.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Frank. You can pass it to Ayana. Ayana, let's talk about race a little bit more. Let's talk about a solution with race. Give us your perspective on one way that we can improve in this area as young people, as a country, wherever you want to go with it. I want to hear from you.
So I think the reality of it, when you're a black youth, regardless of who you are, male, female, gay, straight, they're going to question you on your education. So if you show up and look the part wherever you're going, so you're going to a job interview, you better dress the best that you could ever dress, ask your uncle, daddy, cousin, whoever, to help you look nice so that you could look and act the part, because no one's going to listen to you if you don't look right in the first place.
Okay. All right. Carry yourself in a respectable way. All right. Okay. Cool. You can pass it back down this way. Let's hear from you. My sister, I like your shirt. Steam the block. What does steam the block mean?
STEAM the block is it stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And it's basically a program that tries to focus music around those 5 elements.
I like that. I heard about STEAM, but I didn't know of the music component. That's what's up.
Yeah, it's run by Mr. Lamond.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Well, let's talk a little bit about the solution. Let's stay on this race issue. Okay, we talked about not judging people by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. We talked about no matter what color you are, whatever position you're applying for, you need to look the part. You can't show up to a job interview with your pants hanging off your butt, talk about, they ain't trying to hire me. Duh. Okay. You didn't shower. Okay, so let's come to you now. Let's talk about your perspective for a solution on this race issue.
I think it always goes back with being comfortable with yourselves. Like, you should be comfortable in the skin that you're in, no matter what anybody has to say or anybody thinks of you. Like, this is who you are, and if you don't accept it, then that's that.
Okay, let's clap it up for that. Be confident and comfortable who you are. Black is beautiful. It's an